when your pits are getting a little bit warm on a Zoom call with someone that you don't really know and they're making small talk and you don't really know what to say and it's getting quiet. The question on everybody's minds, well, not everyone, just the introverts. Can we survive at the big four the way we are? The way we live, quietly, in a shell, away from people? I think introvert v extrovert is a really, really wide spectrum. And you aren't one or the other, IMO. And for me, certain situations bring out my extroverted side and certain situations bring out my introverted side. To help figure out which one you are, there's loads of kind of tests you can do online, but I like to think about, what gives you energy in the things you do day to day and the things you like to do and the things you don't like to do. And the 16 personalities says that as an introvert, you tend to be more reserved, enjoy alone time, don't like being the center of attention, and don't try to engage in too much conversation in favor of kind of observing what other people are saying and understanding other people around you, i.e. not speaking for the sake of speaking it. I'm definitely of the opinion that you shouldn't only be in an industry because of the industry being good for extrovert or introvert people. And what I've highlighted before is that you don't have to have certain strong personality traits to be good at a certain task or a certain job or a certain, role in an industry, let alone something in the big four. You just need to know what you're good at and what situations really suit what you're good at and, bring those out of you. And those change over time, by the way. Those don't just stay stuck. You don't stay good at something forever. You're always learning new things, getting better at certain things, getting worse at other things. So the situations that bring those characteristics out are then always going to be changing. Because of what I've learned working for such a big company, your reputation was really built on what skills you are known to be good at, what skills you're perceived to be good at. So making yourself more known for certain skills can get you certain opportunities. And to be honest, even if you're not good at much, put yourself in situations where you can then develop and learn skills to adapt to those situations. And by situations, I mean, if you don't like public speaking, go volunteer for loads of events. If you don't like organizing, take an organizational role in, some kind of project. Because at the end of the day, practice does make perfect anyway. So the more you work at these firms, the more you'll realize that networking is actually so key to your whole career. And when I think of networking, the picture in my head is always walking into like a very stale meeting room. Everyone's holding a paper cup of like a drink and they've got snacks. You kind of go over to people and you force some conversation out of them. It's very transactional and it's the kind of room where you enter it and everyone turns around and looks at you and it's instantly just like not a vibe. And after a few years of being at the big four, I realized that networking is completely what you make of it. You don't have to love being social and attending every single event that your company puts on. Knowing which ones are important and which ones you need to show face at and, build a name at is really important, as well as knowing how to genuinely just get to know people, building genuine relationships. And that's literally it. Getting to know people for who they are, what they do, what they like, what they don't like, and asking genuine questions. Small talk is in the bin. It's in the bin. It's in the garbage. It's not going in our baskets, people. I hate it. I also can't snap. Knowing your weaknesses is definitely a sign of strength. I wrote this out in my script because I thought it sounded really cool. In actuality, no one really has any weaknesses at all. Capitalism likes to make us think this. And the capitalist system that we work in likes to make us think that certain attributes and certain characteristics that we have make us weaker in certain situations, make us not the type of person to make it to the top in a corporate ladder. As introverts, we're not naturally assertive, confident, or willing to put ourselves in the spotlight. Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not, but these are common characteristics that tend to be the non-favored ones for introverts. And we feel like we need a lot of preparation for situations like that. Like I said before, just because something doesn't come naturally to us doesn't mean we can't work on it in the background and then blow people away when the situation arises. So work on getting to know what you don't really fancy doing more often than not and getting better at it. Hand in hand with that, we have some really great qualities as introverts, and some of the ones that I've picked up on and I work on every day to make them even better, being really good at reading people. And honing in on this means that I can read the room and read situations really well. So for me, if I were to facilitate or lead a call, I would be really good at reading who has maybe not spoken up yet, who has spoken too much, what kind of points are being brought up, where the conversation is flowing through the call. This just means I'm maybe getting better at shaping and controlling the flow of a conversation. Another thing I love is organizing and focusing on details. I'm a details person. I just love the deets. And this means I can always contribute to projects in terms of planning, getting details right, and therefore, executing a project really well. And another thing I've picked up on that I know that I like doing and is really good for building genuine relationships is focusing on the other person because of how little I want to talk about myself or talk in general. I think this is even deflecting in some certain situations, but I tend to be a little bit more uncomfortable during one-on-ones, especially with people that I don't know in a corporate situation, obviously. So I always just focus on getting to know the other person for who they are instead of making small talk. So literally just asking about their life, practicing really good listening skills, because listening is something that you have to practice. It does not come naturally. Listening is not just waiting for your turn to talk, and I genuinely think small talk is just a complete waste of time. I just ask questions about, the other person, like what they like to eat, how their day has been, and get some details out of them that you can then pick up on and ask more questions about. It's just kind of very gentle conversational probing, and how their day actually went instead of
good, thanks, what about you?
It makes such a difference, and the key thing is it leaves such a good impression behind. When you have genuine conversations, it really does make your day. A good conversation has so much value. I don't actively go out of my way to avoid one-to-ones, and I take part in them to let me practice this skill. Like, practicing means that not all of these conversations and not all of these times that I'm trying to build these skills and get better at them, they're not all going to go perfect. Some of them are going to suck. I've ended calls where I've just sat and cringed at myself at how badly it went, or how silent it was, or how many awkward silences there were. You just kind of have to close that book and move on and work on the skills and keep doing it again. Don't let it put you off when things don't go well. So now if there's a call in my diary that's a one-to-one, I don't think about it every single minute of the day. I get it done, practice, close the book, move on. I hope you could relate to this video and take away some tips to build your confidence at work as an introvert at the Big Four, because literally confidence in yourselves is everything that you need to do well. Honestly, it's all you need to network, to get those promotions, to build genuine relationships. It's all you need, confidence in yourself. And sometimes you just need someone else to just say that, they're struggling, they're in the same boat as you, and guys, it's hard when your pits are getting a little bit warm on a Zoom call with someone that you don't really know, and they're making small talk and you don't really know what to say, and it's getting quiet. So hey, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm working on my social skills at work, and I'm also here to tell you that you are good at your job. You are good at the job that you're going to start. You are good at the job you're doing right now, and we're about to get better because of some of the tips in this video. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.